what's up guys? We're back again with the most underrated card in Clash Royale. If you're not already hooked on Fisherman, you need to give him a lot more love. Underrated cards are perfect play in Clash Royale for 3 reasons. Number 1, even if they're strong, they're probably not going to get nerfed because they're severely underplayed. Number 2, most people don't expect it or know how to play against it because they never play versus it. Number 3, it's fun to play a card that you haven't played before, especially when it has such a high skill ceiling like Fisherman, and there's a ton of good King Tower activations and placements that can turn the tide in your favor if your opponent's not prepared. Fisherman is generally best with Royale Giant decks and Giant Graveyard decks, and the one that we're going to be playing today is a spicy Giant Graveyard deck used in the top 200. Played at 7,650 trophies, this deck is dominant. Most Giant Graveyard decks have terrible defense, but the Fisherman allows you to go and pull Royal Giants to the other side. Activate King Towers against Hog Riders, Giant decks, or other beatdown decks like Golem that you would traditionally lose to because, well, if they just zap or arrows away your skeleton armies or your bats, you're gonna have no defense available. You'll go from automatically losing every matchup against Electro Giant to pulling off wins every single time. Fisherman has elevated Giant Graveyard to a whole different level. So let's go jump straight some games and assert dominance. And a huge thanks to everyone that's using creator code SirTag to support the channel. All right, so we got a game here. First things first, you guys already know the deal. I never want to cycle the first card. I want my opponent to make the first mess up and then give me a positive elixir trade and then go for a Giant Graveyard. Unfortunately,
You done messed up, Aaron!
I don't have Graveyard with my Dark Prince, so I'm just going to go for my Giant. Hopefully he goes in for some bait cards that we can swiftly eliminate with our arrows and our snowball. We'll see what we can make happen. Okay, so this is not necessarily going to be good arrows for me. I wouldn't be able to get any value. We can't kill the Musketeer, so why would I ever do that? I could snowball, though, because that will be able to slow down the Musketeer and slow down the tower to allow me to get 1 extra hit. Yeah, let's go. So that was a lot better. So going for the arrows doesn't do anything, but the snowball does. So we're popping off and doing a lot of damage. If he goes in for a Hog Rider, I can quickly go in for a Fisherman and activate King Tower. I think it's going to be a Hog Rider or it's going to be a Balloon deck. It's got to be one or the other. Whenever you see Musketeer and you see a Bomb Tower, those are the 2 decks that are commonly played. So I'm going to go in for Archers here. I can go in for a Dark Prince and then fully shut down the Miner and the Balloon without taking too much damage. It is going to be a bit of damage, but it's not going to be enough to take my tower.
Drop it.
And it's not like the type of thing that you would want to go in for a snowball or arrows on. You would just let that archer do its stuff. So I can easily go in for a snowball on top of the skeletons and push back the Musketeer again. And it's going to be way more damage than this guy got. Because the Dark Prince is going to come in the left-hand side. And if this is a 1-1 game where it becomes spicy, I've already got a huge head start in the left-hand lane. So I'm liking the way that this is looking. Definitely want to go in for a Fisherman on top of the Musketeer and drop it directly on top of it, because if you drop it far enough away, then it's just going to take forever for it to go and yoink the Musketeer, and it's not worth it there.
With great power comes great responsibility.
So I didn't think that the Fisherman would get a hit there. The Fisherman got snowball, but I guess he can weather the storm. I guess he's used to really stormy weather out on the seas or something. All right, so I'm going to go in for a Giant, and I think I will lose most of the tower here. I think he's going to go for some spell. Oh, no, he doesn't. Oh, because he had already snowballed on defense against the Fisherman. He wasn't able to snowball on offense. That actually makes a lot of sense. I'm going to Graveyard because the Giant's still going to be tanking for a long period of time, and he doesn't have great Graveyard answers. Like, I haven't even seen bats in his deck. So if you go for a Barbaro, I can snowball that, and I think I'm able to finish off the tower. That probably an overcommitment with my snowball, not going to lie. And with 50 seconds remaining, all I have to do is hold the door. So it should be relatively easy. I've got Dark Prince for the Miner, and I've got Mega Man and Archers for subsequent balloons. Honestly, why don't I just take 2 towers? I can go for a Giant in the middle, and then keep the offense going, so then our opponent has to defend this side, so he doesn't have as much elixir to go in the right-hand lane. He's 100% going to go in for a snowball plus a Miner on my tower, and I'm just going to go in for Archers. I'm going to go in for my own snowball on the Miner, push it back, and then counter it with my Fisherman. So there's no way for him to take the tower. We had all the power, and honestly, I would have 3-crowned him if we just had a little bit longer in this game. So GG, well played, and peace out, buddy. After that dominant W, we are 5,000 in the world. To jump into this game, this guy went Bomber in the back, I followed up with a Giant, and now we are fighting with Mega Minions in the middle.
How dare you?
I feel like this is going to be a Giant versus Golem beatdown match, and generally in this type of situation, I always want to save my Fisherman, so I'm going to cycle my Dark Prince instead. Maybe I could have even snowballed that and then used my Dark Prince and then gotten a lot of damage on his tower, but alternatively, I can Graveyard and I can snowball and I can arrows and get a ton of value. So I'm going to vibe with that. I'm going to snowball here, and that didn't work out near as well as I wanted it to. But I can still arrows. Wait, if I can kill the Night Witch inside of there, then I can Fisherman, and there's no bats behind it that I would have to worry about.
See you, chump.
Peter, stop! It's me! Protect me!
I can easily Mega Minion on top of the Baby Dragon. Wait, this worked out so much better than I thought it would. It went from a roller coaster, wacky, wild ride that I was like, can I just get off of this thing? To being one of the best experiences of my life. The highs and the lows, we're going through it all today. Mega Minion should be able to swipe on top of the rest of the bomber, and then Fisherman's going to force out some extra elixir here, so then I can go for a giant graveyard again in the right-hand lane. See, like that Mega Minion is something that I can completely ignore because it's not going towards the tower that we have already taken a lot of damage on. So I'm going to go for a graveyard, and I've got Snowball for a skeleton army if he decides to drop it. I'm just going to be holding it. If you go for a Mega Minion or you go in for a Mini P.E.K.K.A., those are individually targeting cards that I don't care about, so this is very, very good for me. In fact, I'm going to Snowball so then the Mini P.E.K.K.A. doesn't get his one hit on the skeleton as fast as he wants, and then we're able to cycle back to our archers. I wonder if this is worth it, going for another Dark Prince here. Feels good, but at the same time, I'm looking at myself, I'm like, can I just waste elixir? Because he might just ignore that, sack the tower, and then all end me. And I feel like this is the type of player to do that. He's definitely going to let that Dark Prince connect to the tower, right? Oh, never mind. Okay, that was not what I thought would happen. Anyway, he might predict this Fisherman, but I want to drop it a little bit earlier just for that reason. And now I can Mega Minion and I can arrows, so this should be good. Definitely want to arrow on top of all those bats that are coming down. I think the Fisherman pulls the Mini P.E.K.K.A. to the other side. Wait, what? That was the most roundabout adventure that the Mini P.E.K.K.A. has ever been on in its life. That's crazy. I can go in for a Snowball here and then get another Mega Minion on top of his so he's not able to finish that off. The high archers force out a bomber, which he probably shouldn't have dropped. And then I can go for arrows here to clean everything else up. All I want to do is go in for a graveyard, and I will walk with win, so I'm going to go for a Dark Prince up high in case he decides to go in for any shenanigans with the spell. Do not want to get that one tapped by Mini P.E.K.K.A. and then lightning and then have the Mini P.E.K.K.A. take my tower. So I just want to drop it up as high as possible so it wouldn't be in lightning range. And I'm going to go for a giant. I'm going to follow up with a graveyard, and we should walk with a pretty good win. So if you guys are ever sick and tired of playing against a golem deck and you're running giant graveyard, you would typically lose because you don't have any way of, you know, body blocking the golem, and the golem will get on top of your tower, explode, and make you a super sad sir. But you can activate King Tower easily with a Fisherman and destroy any beatdown deck with this. It's especially useful into Electro Giants, but as you guys can see, into golem matchups, it works out wonderfully too. After that one, we are 4,300. All right, so we got a game against Any. I have no clue what this guy's going to do, but you guys already know the deal with this deck. We want to thrive off of the counter push life. So I don't want to cycle too many things. Maybe I can go for like a Dark Prince in the back or archers. Maybe it's better for me to feign that I've got an Expo deck. That's usually what I like doing with Giant Graveyard. Like my archers in the back be like, hey, I'm a very defensive person. Oh, I can give him the Expo emoji too. Just gonna keep spamming the Expo emoji. Like he wants to cycle stuff into me to give me the positive elixir trade with the Dark Prince or the Fisherman so that I can catapult the Giant Graveyard after him. Let's go! It worked out! There's no universe that he would have done that if he knew that I had Fisherman. It just wasn't in the realm of possibilities for this dude. I got the Fisher Boy, and I get counter push, and then I go Giant Graveyard at the river with the Fisherman also maybe being able to yoink the Valkyrie. This has been such a good start. If I'm able to yoink on top of the other stuff, that's even better, so I'll take that trade as well. I'm going to arrows to definitively kill the Goblin so I can go and kill the Executioner. I hope that doesn't target Ice Spirit. Come on, kill the Executioner. So then there's no counter push for him. He's going to lose the Exy before the Valkyrie can help out. You know, the Valkyrie really wants to help, but she's not allowed to. Not how it works out here. We've got Snowball, so I should be able to bounce everything back and not take as much damage as this guy is hoping for. Also, I think the Valkyrie is still in alignment with the Dark Prince, so that's clean. I can finish them both out, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Okay, great start for this game. King Tower activated, his damage is dispersed, and hopefully we can go in the same side and then just keep his elixir low and just keep rattling off graveyards and giants at the river. So in this type of matchup, one thing that I've realized is if I go in for like an aggressive giant when he's low on elixir, it's really, really tough for him to deal with it. Because if he goes to Executioner, then my Fisherman yoinks it and he has to go Goblins at the same time. So I can alternatively go in for arrows and clean that up. So then we go and pull the Executioner and kill the Executioner on our side of the map. Oh, that was so smart until it wasn't. I still think we kill the Exy. I still think that works. We completely bamboozled him. You can switch it up and do different things with this deck. You don't have to be a one-trick pony of going Giant Graveyard at the river. You can go and strive for greatness with pulling their defensive cards that they think are going to be safe and yoinking them with the Fisherman, and that's why it's such a criminally underrated card. One of the best cards in the game on offense and defense. You can also do that against P.E.K.K.A. too, but I think that Executioner showcasing was amazing. Like, this is so much fun. I can follow up with the Graveyard here, and then I can go Giant in the middle, because if we keep him on his back foot, he's never able to go in for a huge push with a Hog Rider. He has to be defending this, because if the Fisherman locks onto the tower with the Graveyard coming at him, he'll just lose the tower, because
Avenge me now! But you can't do this to me. You know how much I sacrificed?
I mean, he's still defending with all of his might, and his tower is so low. Yo, that just doesn't feel fair. Straight up, guys. Like, That was one of the most unfair interactions I've seen in Clash Royale in a long time. GG and well played. It was a pleasure playing against you. If you go for a Hog Rider, we've got Snowball, we've got Archers, we've got Arrows. We've got everything we could ever want in our lives. Even says well played. Very nice, dude. So we got a game against Albert Electrico. We're going to sauce out a Snowball and we're going to see what happens. Maybe he's going to go and hit me up with the Zap, but nah, he's not staying true to his fashion of his name. Man, it is not very electric. Cycling a skeleton in the back. That is one of the most deflationary presents that I've ever received, man. I hate that thing. Because he's going to be able to spam so many skeletons at me soon. And then I don't think that this is necessarily going to be great for me, but I'm going to try to activate King Tower if he decides to go and spam like the Skeleton King. So I will be able to pull the Royal Giant to the other side. I don't think I can activate King Tower anymore, guys. I think I'm screwed. Unless I can get some super nice value with the Snowball. Please kill it.
Easy. But he just got removed. No, he got him.
Oh, no. Wait, that worked. Never mind. Why was I complaining for a second? I thought that the graveyard would stay in its place and not get pulled when the Skeleton King got pulled. Oh, wow. I was freaking out. I was losing my mind. And fortunately, we didn't lose our tower, too. So I'm going to go in for a Dark Prince, and then I can follow up with a Giant in a graveyard. The good thing about this is I'm up a lot of elixirs, so I think this is a pretty comfortable position for us to be in. If I can go for a graveyard and have the Dark Prince flash onto the Zappies, he should lose all of the Zappies. He's going to pull the wrong thing. He's going to pull Skeletons and he's going to pull a Dark Prince, but he's got Mother Witch. Dude, Mother Witch hasn't even got buffed yet and you're still playing it? What are you doing, you wild child? I don't like you at all. Okay, he's definitely going to activate King Tower with that Giant. Oh, never mind. It was all part of the plan until it wasn't for him, apparently. Let's go. The Mother Witch Piggies are going to be a huge pain in the booty. So I think it's going to be beneficial for me to go in for another Dark Prince if he goes in for the Skeleton King ability. And if he doesn't, then I'll just go Dark Prince here. I need to go in for a Fisher Boy to go and pull this to the other side if I can actually afford it. Which it doesn't seem like I can for a long, long time. Though I don't think that gets a hit because we have the Archers there. And then the Fisherman still goes on the same side that we want. So I think that's a little bit better for us. This is a scuffed spot for us to play in because I need to be able to take the tower, but if I go into a Mother Witch, I'm probably going to lose the game. So I'm still going to do it. I got to go for Arrows and I got to go Snowball. He's probably going to go for Fisher Boy. I need to Arrows this as quickly as I can. And then I want a Snowball as well, just to be able to kill the Mother Witch so that the Skeletons can start to spawn and not be turned into pigs. That would be, you know, pretty optimal if that didn't happen to me. I'm going to go for Archers here. He's probably going to click the ability. If he doesn't, I'd be very surprised. Okay, I got to go Dark Prince here as well. And then I got to go for like a Mega Minion. So I think that the only reason I lost this Royal Giant matchup is simply because he also has Zappies and he's got Mother Witch. If you play against a Royal Giant player that doesn't have Mother Witch, you're going to have a much better time if, you know, like they're not going to have multiple answers to you, like activating King Towers with the Fisherman, dropping Zappies on defense that you have to Snowball and Arrows, and then also have to Snowball and Arrows on top of the Mother Witch. So I think that was definite hard counter. We'll bounce on the next one. You can't win every single game that you play, but you can always try harder. Clash Royale is a lot like poker. If you get a bad hand, or in this case, a bad matchup, you're trying everything you can to make the most out of it. Hey, we got a game against Carnage from the Avengers. Dude, I hope that we can avenge our fallen friends. After losing against that Royal Giant deck, we have to bounce back. The thing is, I can just arrow your tower again and then get more damage. Get further and further ahead. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. I think I can activate King Tower here. So I'm going to go Archers, and then I'm going to activate King Tower with this Fisher Boy on top of the Giant Skeleton.
Get over here!
Let's go! That's what I'm talking about, baby! You can't guard us. That's awesome. Using his units on offense to his disadvantage, you know? That's cool. As long as he doesn't have a Royal Giant deck like we played against last time, then I think we're in a phenomenal position. So he's going to have Hog Rider. Generally, in this type of situation, when you have the King Tower and you get counterpush with a Dark Prince, you go in for a graveyard and then you arrow away whatever distraction cards that they have. So that's a mirrored up Hog Rider. That is interesting. Oh my gosh. Wait, this is the Giant Skeleton deck that I know and love. But he lost his tower. I mean, I guess his name got fully fulfilled. That was utter carnage on that side of the map. There was nothing he could do. Simply because if your opponent doesn't have the right card cycle and you go in for a graveyard and you're up elixir, you arrow away whatever like bats or goblin gang that they have. And this guy knew that like he can't go in for cheap bait cards because I have arrows and I also have Snowball, which he saw as my very first 2 cards of the game. So he just lost his tower and there's nothing he can do. We just defend because we've got Fisherman, we've got Dark Prince, and we'll walk away with a very dominant W. So it looks like the game took a little bit longer than expected. The guy played really well and got a Giant Skeleton somehow to my tower on the left-hand side. But as you guys know, in a 1-1 situation, Giant Graveyard will always win. The Redemption arc is back and we're 3,800 in the world. Like, subscribe for more daily videos, and have an amazing rest of your day.